Hey, what's up, nerds? Hope you're all doing well. I'm unbothered, moisturized, happy, in my lane, focused, flourishing. And today we're going to talk about simplified Chinese Pokemon cards. What? Who cares about simplified Chinese Pokemon cards? Well, I'm going to try to convince you that you should care about them. Because as far as different languages of Pokemon cards go, I think that simplified Chinese is actually the third most collectible and investable after English and Japanese. And why am I saying that, right? You've probably never even heard of simplified Chinese Pokemon cards. And generally, especially in the US, I think we associate Chinese Pokemon cards with counterfeit or fake Pokemon cards. But the thing about the fake Pokemon cards is that they're actually always printed in English. And, well, these simplified Chinese ones are in Chinese. The other thing that is intriguing me about these simplified Chinese Pokemon cards is they're actually printed in Japan, and they have the exact same print quality, cutting, texturing, foiling, all that great stuff that Japanese cards do. And if you're not really aware of the hierarchy of Pokemon cards, just know that Japanese cards have the top tier quality. They are the nicest Pokemon cards on the planet. English is generally regarded as a step down from Japanese as far as print quality, and then Korean is also somewhat getting more popular these days, and it can be thought of as roughly on the same tier as English. And so the fact that simplified Chinese cards are actually printed in Japan, whereas Korean is printed in Korea, and English are printed in the US, that is a big deal. And Pokemon cards are actually printed in two different Chinese languages: traditional Chinese and simplified Chinese. And the traditional Chinese Pokemon cards have actually been around since 2019, but the simplified are only a year old. They came out in late October of 2022. And I don't know how accurate this is, but I kind of think of traditional Chinese being spoken more by the Taiwanese, Hong Kong, Macau, places like that, whereas simplified Chinese is the Chinese mainland. So this is a crazy huge deal for just the popularity of Pokemon cards in general, because mainland China is absolutely massive. For people who don't really understand the scope of their population, they have 4 times the population of the United States. And the United States is probably far and away the biggest driver of the current Pokemon market. So a brand new market that's 4 times the size is just astronomically huge. It's hard to wrap your head around. So hopefully now you have a little bit more background about simplified Chinese cards, and we can kind of talk about some of the actual cards themselves and some of the products that they come in. This website here, pokerwayne.com, is a really great resource to learn more about simplified Chinese cards. They also do sell some of them as well. And this article is from last year, but it still has some good information. This is from right when it was launching. And they do explain the first 3 products that came out. These were the first 3, this Charizard box, Rayquaza, and a Sylveon. And they explain that there are a total of 3 different products on the initial release. There was a plain 30-pack booster containing 5 cards each, just like standard releases, standard Japanese releases. And then there is also what's really funny, and a lot of people have opened online, which is a 24-pack booster box, and each one is a jumbo pack containing 25 cards. These are super thick, crazy packs. And actually, PokeRev just did an opening. He opened one of these super interesting gift boxes in simplified Chinese that includes packs and even includes these gold packs that have exclusive gold energy cards and could have rainbow cards in them as well. And these super fancy, cool gift boxes are one thing that people are really praising simplified Chinese Pokemon cards for having. For example, there's this Lily's Support gift box, and I don't think it is supposed to retail for $500. I think it's supposed to be much cheaper than that. I think that's the markup nowadays. But it actually comes with the full art Lily trainer card, and the quality is just the same as the Japanese. And then you also get these other cool single cards, the Cosmog, Cosmium, Solgaleo GX, and Lunala GX. And then you get 2 playmats, you get sleeves, deck boxes, whole bunch of packs. And these are the jumbo packs as well with 25 cards per pack. So a lot of cool stuff in here. They also make some Eevee themed gift boxes. And then I think the most current release is this Sword and Shield first year anniversary gift box. And it comes with these really cool promos, the Friends in Alola and Friends in Galar. And then this actually brings me to the next biggest point about why I'm excited about Simplified Chinese and why I kind of want to collect some or just pick some up to hold. Simplified Chinese started in the Sun and Moon era. Even though it just came out a year ago at the end of 2022, they decided to start in Sun and Moon. Now they've finished up Sun and Moon and they're in Sword and Shield, but that doesn't change the fact that now we can essentially pick up some of these favorite cards from the Sun and Moon era in super high quality, printed in Japan. Yes, they happen to be in the simplified Chinese language, but for us English-only speakers, we barely know the difference. On a lot of these Chinese openings, people are like, oh, cool Japanese cards, ha ha ha. Like, people can't even, they literally can't tell the difference. So since these cards are printed in Japan, they're super nice quality, and they're literally the same cards that we now know and love and covet from the Sun and Moon era, I feel like some of these simplified Chinese boxes are like maybe a no-brainer to pick up. And I also found this website with this really helpful article. This is from japan2uk.com, and they go over CSM2 A, B, and C. And I assume this is Chinese simplified, no, maybe Chinese Sun and Moon 2, A, B, and C. So I think these are the boxes that came after those first boxes I showed you a little while ago. Anyhow, you can find these on eBay today still. The only problem is that they are up to like $130. They're supposed to retail for like $40, similar to most Japanese boxes. So they've already like tripled in price, and I think the prevailing thought right now is that these are like not a good pickup at this price. They are extremely speculative, if anything. But for me personally, I just see the absolutely insane growth in the Sun and Moon era cards. And I look at this opportunity to pick them up in like a really great, like fantastic print quality, the same print quality as Japanese because these are printed in Japan. And it's just like a pretty enticing thing here. This Gengar box, this is CSM2B, is just super stacked. Like, look at this Gengar and Mimikyu, and Mew and Mewtwo, and like all these cards. A lot of these are from like actual the Sun and Moon sets, but they've like repurposed these artworks and these cards from Sun and Moon sets and like crafted them into these simplified Chinese releases. So these are like, you know, basically special sets. The third one, CSM2C, this Eevee and Snorlax box is also insanely stacked. Like, it just has a bunch of like insanely expensive Sun and Moon cards like this Charizard and Reshiram. I think this is super expensive. Anyway, yeah, even like full art trainers and stuff. What is this, Erica's Hospitality or something? I don't know. These are like super hot cards that are incredibly, incredibly sought after. And they have reprinted them now in simplified Chinese, and they did it only a year ago. So these are still available for like not that expensive. And, you know, I don't know about pull rates. I don't know about all that sort of stuff. But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's worth paying 3 times MSRP. It's just really hard to say. And then these are the lilies that come with that special box. You just get this as a single in the box, and that's why the box is so expensive. But again, simplified Chinese, printed in Japan, really, really good quality. And these are just available for super cheap. I think the reason that they're cheap, the only reason, is because people literally, they don't know this exists. They literally don't know that these exist. So right here, oh my gosh, PSA 10 for $300. A PSA 10 Lily Full Art Trainer in English is like $1,200. In Japanese, I think it might be even more. This one is pretty expensive. The prices of these are kind of all over the map, but you can literally find PSA 10s for like under $400. And I feel like once people catch on and they start understanding what simplified Chinese Pokemon cards actually are, I don't know. I feel like these could potentially be investable, not financial advice. But yeah, that's like kind of all I got for now. That's your little intro into simplified Chinese Pokemon cards. I feel like it's hard to get like really good information, good set lists, all of that kind of stuff online right now. The information's just not that available in the US yet. Even PokeRev in his video, it seems like he didn't know what the box was called. He he knew like very, very little about it. I'm like curious where he even got it. Probably someone sent it to him or something. Was like, hey, this looks interesting and be good for a video. But overall, I feel like we still have a lot to learn about the products. And is it investable? I don't know. That's kind of a dumb, loaded question that's just meant to be an enticing title for you guys to click on. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty interested in the stuff just because these are essentially high-quality Sun and Moon reprints. If I do pick some up or I buy a PSA 10 Lily, I'll definitely showcase them on the channel. I'll also leave some links down below, including some of the resources that I used in this video, and then another channel called Krystal Kollectz. She talks about foreign cards and has a really great channel. And if you have any insights about simplified Chinese Pokemon cards, I would love to hear them in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.